Okay, I haven't scripted anything, I just want to talk. And what I want to talk about is dating, because I recently got out of a 3.5 year relationship and I have been dating, and the first thing I want to talk about is the difference between dating in your early 20s and your late 20s. So the biggest difference that I've noticed is definitely looking back when you're in your early 20s and the people you're dating are in their early 20s or sort of mid 20s. It's a really different stage of life from what I'm in now. So people are kind of finishing up uni, maybe looking towards where their life is headed, and so maybe they're looking for a partner, or they're more open to dating because they're about to enter into this new phase and maybe they're looking for people to come along with them. Whereas in your late 20s, what I found is people are quite set in what they're doing, so they might have figured out what they want to be doing, like career-wise, or sort of where they want their life to be heading. And part of that is with dating, it can be tricky to figure out if someone's going to fit into that life that you kind of want. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think so. So yeah, the main thing is everyone's just quite set in their ways. And also the other thing is people are very busy these days. Like, no matter what it is, whether it's their job taking their time or, I don't know, just friends they've already got, existing relationships in their lives, I think it's a lot harder for people to fit someone new in. That's what I've noticed. For me personally, because I work part-time, I think I definitely have a little bit more time than a lot of people. So that's something I've had to be aware of, realizing that people are busy. And yeah, I'm not saying that I'm not busy. I'm very busy. I mean, when I'm not at work, I'm writing, so I basically have 2 jobs. But because it's technically like self-employed, I have a lot more time to be on my phone, or at least check my phone, whereas some people might not have that. So yeah, but definitely main difference between early 20s and late 20s is just, it's a completely different ball game. Yeah, and I guess the other thing that actually I have noticed that comes into it at the moment, especially on dating apps like Hinge, you can put whether you want children or not, and that's like something that before now hadn't really ever come into dating for me. Like, before I was in my long-term relationship, that just didn't come up because the people that I was dating were like, early 20s or mid 20s, and now it's like the people that I'm sort of talking to are late 20s or early 30s, and I guess you do have to start thinking about these things. And I don't want children, and when I came to that realization, it was like, it was quite sad, because I was seeing people saying they wanted children on their profile, and I basically just had to like say no, because that's a non-negotiable. I don't want children, and if someone wants children, no matter how cool they are, no matter the connection you might have with them, it's not going to change. I don't think someone goes from wanting children to not having children, or the other way round, at least later in life. I mean, I guess if you're younger, you might question it a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, for a long time, I thought that I want kids, or I just assumed that I was going to have kids, but when I got into my mid-20s, I realized it was just not what I wanted, and I can talk about that in another video. But yeah, I think once you know, and it's not going to change. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. Oh yeah, so the other thing that is quite interesting about online dating is this has always been the same. It's like that if it doesn't work out straight away kind of thing, you just move on. And that's really tough because I want to give people a chance. I take a while to warm up to people and like get comfortable and that sort of thing. And it almost feels like people are just like, if you're not willing to meet up with them straight away, just for coffee or whatever, they're like, oh, okay, bye. Or you kind of have to be quite clear that you are wanting to take it slow, and that's almost weird. And it's like, but if I, you know, if this was like the 1950s and we met like at a party amongst friends or like whatever, it would usually be a bit more natural, a bit slower, but you know, you might start as friends and go on a date, or you actually have a chance to small talk in person and then go on a date, rather than like, I don't know you, but now let's go on a date. It just feels very intense. And yeah, I don't like that. And I think a part of that is also you don't have any context of who they are other than what you're seeing on their profile. So like, you kind of build an image of them in your head, whether you mean to or not, and it can be quite tricky to figure out like what parts of that are, you know, who they really are, and what parts you've sort of just invented to fill in the gaps. I've had a few people, one in particular, that was making a lot of assumptions about me that were not true, and it was really difficult because I feel like once someone's formed that opinion of you, it's like, are you gonna spend your time unraveling it, or is it kind of just like that's it, because, you know, you've presented yourself hopefully authentically, and if they're not seeing that, then it's kind of like, well, are they ever gonna see that? Yeah. So the other thing, oh yeah, this is another thing that I think is important. It's quite it's quite different from what I've just been talking about. It's sort of my personal journey with dating, like in terms of my own expectations and things. Hold on, I'm gonna get water. Okay, so in the past I used dating as a way to feel wanted, because obviously everyone wants to feel wanted, they want to feel seen, they want to feel special. So I did a lot of things that I regretted. I dated a lot of people that probably were not good matches for me because I liked feeling liked, and if people knew how to make you feel liked, then that was really nice. But now that I'm older and wiser, and I think I just know who I am a bit better, I'm less willing to just kind of go along with this. And yeah, I think if you like yourself first, it's that whole thing, you know, you have to like yourself before you can like someone else. And while that's not entirely true, I definitely see some truth in it. At least feeling comfortable with who you are and what you want means that you're less likely to be used or, you know, ghosted or these things. Yeah. Because I'm quite sensitive to rejection as well. I would get myself into these situations where I was wanting this person to want me and they just kind of didn't, or, you know, they were interested and then they suddenly weren't, and like it caused a lot of anxiety. And I've definitely noticed that coming up a little bit lately. If there's someone that I quite like and it's just not working out, I feel that, like, I think it's called like perceived rejection or something. So you're feeling that they're about to dip, and yeah, it's just, and that's not healthy, and I think I need to work on that before I can like fully date. Because yeah, one thing I've realized is if someone is not interested, you're not going to convince them to be interested, and that goes in the reverse as well. If you're not interested in someone, they're probably not going to be able to convince you to be interested by liking all your Instagram posts, spamming you with voice males. Like, it's just, you know, it's kind of just, maybe that's just sadly how online dating is. As I said, like, it's very quick, but at the same time, if the attraction isn't there or it disappears, it's very hard to get it back, and I think that's just for relationships in general. So yeah. Another thing is, because I'm quite a loner, because I have social anxiety, I find it very hard to want to add someone to my life these days. So I'm a lot more careful. I think I'm better at weeding out the people that probably wouldn't be good for me as well. But yeah, it does also mean that the people I add to my life tend to be quite special. Like, I don't want just acquaintances, I don't want casual dating, I tend to want something a lot more serious, because if I'm going to put energy into someone, I want them to do the same with me, and I want to feel like we're sort of, like, we're going to have a bond, rather than just like this floaty, oh yeah, like maybe I'll see you for a couple of months and then I'll get bored or whatever. But I guess at the same time, you can't predict how you are going to feel in a few months, so maybe it just doesn't work out, but you know. But yeah, I think overall, I think I've got a lot of work to do on my anxiety around people. I think I'm very good at trying to say the right thing on dates, like saying what they want to hear so that they'll want to go on another date or whatever. But I also try to be quite authentic, so it's a real balancing act for me. I think I just need to let go a bit more, because if you're going to date them more seriously, they're going to learn who you are anyway. So why not just be yourself from the start? It's that whole thing. But yeah, lots of work to be done. And to be honest, I think I just need to chill. I think a lot of the time I'm happy by myself, but just because I might be feeling a bit lonely or like I don't have people in my life doesn't mean I need to find a relationship right this very second. I think I'm allowed to just chill and learn how to be really comfortable with being alone. I mean, loneliness is not healthy, but being alone can be healthy, especially after getting out of a long-term relationship. I think it's good to find yourself, if you know what I mean, before diving into something new. So we'll see how it goes. There was one thing I wanted to add. On my video where I was talking about, finding community as a loner, I did have a few people in the comments saying, because I'm reasonably young and not ugly, I should be able to find someone really easily to date or be in a relationship with. And I just want to say, that's not really how it works. And if someone comes into my life, then that's awesome. But just because you might perceive me as someone that's dateable doesn't mean that that's how life is going to work. As I've said, I have social anxiety. I don't go out, so I don't drink, so I'm not just going to be sitting in a bar and people are going to come up to me and, it's like, yeah, I'm not like this perfect human that is getting, an inbox full of messages all the time. So if that's how you see me, I don't know. I don't know why you've come to that conclusion, but yeah. I just wanted to add that because I feel like it's important, because you don't know me, you don't know the context of my life other than what I've shown you. So yeah, but for now I'm just going to be content with who I am, and whatever comes along, comes along. So yeah, let me just see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, I guess one more thing that I should have mentioned is, like, I think some people want a relationship to fit into the life they already have, but if you're going to be in a long-term relationship or any sort of serious relationship, you kind of have to learn how to adapt your life to fit a relationship rather than the other way around. Like, you know, you don't want to lose yourself to have a relationship, but things change. You need to have time for your partner. You need to be willing to make time to reply to them, because that's just how it works. If you want someone to have a serious connection with you, you need to be willing to give them that time that they deserve. And that's on both sides. I'm not just saying, like, the other person has to give you everything. But, yeah. Life is just busy for a lot of people. We're all just trying to make money, you know. We're all just trying to pay our rent. And we're also just, a lot of people that I know are just trying to, like, hustle and do their creative things on the side while earning a living. So, but yeah, let's see where it ends up, right? Thanks for watching, and it would be interesting to hear your experiences with this dating life in the 21st century, in your 20s.